Yo, this is Supermax Hernandez, and you're watching Countdown City WrestleCast. Boom! I got it.
What's up, heels and baby faces? Welcome to another episode of the Countdown City WrestleCast. I'm your host, JC, and I'm joined this week by Tommy.
You.
Mike isn't able to join us today, and he would say he's Mike, and this is still 2020.
It's still 2020.
After a shit show of a first debate, we're here to bring you some wrestling.
I didn't even watch it.
Yeah. I don't usually watch the debates. I wait for like the lip sync viral videos that go out afterwards, or maybe the highlights, if you want to call them that. But after finishing the episode of Love Island with Tina, we just flipped over to see what was going on, and it just could not be pulled away. Two senile old men just yelling at each other. That's basically what it was.
But will the lip syncs say anything crazier than the actual president and former vice president said? I don't think so. I don't think
Probably not. I mean, you had one guy calling one guy a clown, one guy telling him to shut up, and then it wasn't my words that called it a shit show. It was somebody on CNN afterward called it a basic shit show. But we won't jump into politics right now. Go enjoy that on your own time. Yeah. Here we're talking wrestling. Yes. Our Twitter account at CCG_WrestleCast. Subscribe here to the Countdown City Geeks YouTube channel. We are going to be recapping today WWE Clash of Champions and previewing NXT TakeOver 31. If it still happens, because that's a big if right now.
Yeah.
For those that don't know, COVID has basically struck again.
Yep.
In some levels. Of course, it's no secret I'm a Titans fan. If you look closely over my shoulder, you see a Titans helmet in the background there. And that's hit the NFL. 3 players tested positive. They're closed until Saturday. But in the WWE world, COVID hit even before Clash of Champions even started. Yep. Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax and Nikki Cross were not medically cleared to compete at Clash of Champions that day. The news broke out, which basically eliminated 2 matches. As far as why this affects NXT, Tina found a report that there's basically an issue of COVID cases all over the Performance Center affecting NXT talent. So that's kind of where this stems from. But at least we got Clash of Champions. Wasn't too bad of a show, I think. But obviously the changes affected everything. So, as we last recorded, we had thought Asuka versus Zelina Vega was going to be on the pre-show, and that got flipped. Obviously because they need to have at least one women's full match on the card. So, what did you think, Tommy, if Asuka ended up pulling double duty that night?
It's what I've been saying since they signed her. She's a goat. Like, she's one of the greatest of all time. She can do that if they let her. It's like, because I've been watching a whole lot of Asuka matches on YouTube recently, and like I watched them, like maybe matches she's had, tag team matches where she teamed against with Mara Fuji against 2 other greats. Mara Fuji being great too, Suzuki and Meiko Satomura. It's like she's a goat. She's a great. She can do that. If they would just let her, like she can have an hour-long match, Iron Woman match, if they would let her, but they just don't, because Vince doesn't. Triple H did, but Vince doesn't. So Purple and double duty, it's not surprising, but because she can do it. I mean, I'm happy she did. I'm happy she got to, but she's that good. Yeah.
The way they covered that, obviously Bayley issuing the open challenge because you have an opponent, Asuka coming out, having a quick little match and basically a DQ finish.
Yeah.
Easiest way you can kind of protect both titles, So yeah.
Both titles and both wrestlers, because that continues to cement Bayley's heel work, which is still fantastic. I mean, Roman Reigns is becoming a very close number 2 for a good heel run, but he's still behind Bayley. As good as his heel run is going so far, he's still behind Bayley to me. He's got to catch up. So
no one's touching that, right? So that's just on point there.
Well, we can talk about the main event when we get there, but I'll talk about that then.
Yeah, we're not going to go match by match. I will say what I enjoyed the most was definitely the ladder match.
The ladder match was insane. The last 3 or 4 minutes may have been some of the best. Like I don't want to say ring work because it wasn't really ring work because all three guys can work in the ring. That's not the thing. I guess the best planning of a match ever, like the handcuffs, Jeff Hardy pulling the ladder
oh my
that's attached
god,
to his ear. That looked painful as all get out. It really did. And
that's
then and see me as a person with shoulder problems, AJ's handcuff looked worse to me because of how his arm was bent, and I was imagining my arm in there, and immediately I felt my arm want to come out of socket. I was like, geez, no, God, no, please. I'd rather have my ear pulled out.
This is the second time I can remember Jeff Hardy's ear piercing becoming an issue in a match. Of course, Randy Orton did it the first time, putting a nail or something and twisting it. And I'm thinking, okay, Randy Orton, you sick son of a bitch, you probably came up with this spot. After seeing the handcuffs thing, I'm convinced Jeff Hardy comes up with this sadistic shit. He's just a glutton for punishment.
Either he comes up with it, or he sits down whoever he's feuding with, and they're like, well, what if you just did something to my earlobes? Like, Jeff, that's gonna hurt. Well, yeah, but it's gonna look great.
Yeah.
Okay, Jeff, do you really need to talk about something? I mean, we're all here for you if you need to talk about something.
I don't particularly see this as something that Vince came up with. The whole adage, Vince won't ask you to do something he wouldn't do himself. But if this was Vince's idea, I want to see the video of him getting an ear piercing, getting a handcuff put in his own ear. But yeah, the ladder match itself, Mike did send a few notes on the show. Okay. He basically said that this match, he was just determined to tear the house down, all three of them, put their bodies through hell. I wish I would have picked with my heart because the way Sammy pulled it off was amazing, and it really was. It was such a good finish.
It was what I actually, when I was watching it. Okay, so full disclosure, I didn't watch it live because Sunday was my anniversary.
Yes.
And so
happy 1-year anniversary to Tommy and Lagaya. You can officially keep all your wedding gifts. You're good to go. Yes.
Yeah. You guys weren't getting those back anyway. Anyway,
no, hey, the thing is, the rule is if you get divorced before the first year, you got to give all the wedding gifts back. So you guys are in the clear now.
Fair enough, though, because we would have folks mad at us for a whole bunch of reasons anyway. But anyway, so the whole handcuff thing was great, but I dug the way that the whole match went. Like, I got to put in some of my top favorite ladder matches now because it just works so well. And I don't know how many times I can watch Jeff Hardy do this, but I still cringe every time. When he did the swanton off the ladder on the Sami Zayn, I still my spine hurt. When he hit it almost looked more painful than when he did it to Bubba Ray at WrestleMania 2000. I was like, oh God, what? It might have been the ladder sound that made it so much worse, but it just looked like the most painful one he's done so far.
Yeah, Tina and I were going back and forth because I had just finished getting food off the grill, just getting it all prepped. Yeah. And then I saw him climbing the ladder. I was like, Tina, we got to watch this. We're just pulling ourselves away from the kitchen just to go see what was going on. So, what else did the ambulance match seem to be a talk of the night as well? It's kind of a Legends revenge, if you will. So
yeah, that was probably I loved it because it was the brutality I was expecting. It's Orton and it's Drew, so I was expecting brutality. But the fact that first Big Show snuck in, I was like, first of all, how are you 7 feet tall? You sneak anywhere? What are you, Batman? But anyway, he snuck in. When he grabbed Orton's Orton literally looked like he was looking oh hell. And Christian jumping him, I honestly just thought it was just a fan who broke in for a second there. I was like, oh, that's Christian. Never mind. Shawn Michaels showed up like Batman though. I was like, first of all, the camera was there the whole time. When did you do that? So,
and the best. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Then when he super kicked him and then lightly pushed him, it looked like a Looney Tunes cartoon. Just
the best meme I saw of that was from the other angle, and it was basically Shawn Michaels condemning you to the depths of hell. That's basically what it was, and it makes so much sense. Consider what we know about Shawn Michaels. Yeah. So I mean, oh my God.
And considering it's Randy Orton, that joke makes sense both ways.
Yes, it definitely does. Now the main event. This was an interesting one. First off, it went on a lot longer than I thought it would. I half expected this to be
like a squash.
Kind of a squash, or maybe like 10, 15 minutes at most. By my count, it was damn near 25. And props to Jey Uso, man. He tore it up.
Yeah.
You know, and the memes are out there. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and read Mike's notes for the whole show because
when
it gets to this part, it's damn near funny.
Yeah.
Show. It was obviously affected by COVID. We talked about that. With them not being medically cleared. We don't know, by the way, if that appeals to them. Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, and Nikki Cross having positive tests. It's just dealing with some possible contact tracing. They might have been exposed, so we don't know how that's affecting them.
Right.
Pre-show was a 5 because Cesaro and his tag team partners successfully defended the tag team titles. That's the quote from Mike.
Oh, of course.
The main card was a great start, ladder match, and a great finish. Reigns heel with mediocre matches in the middle. I mentioned the ladder match, his comments on it. The middle card again was okay. The ambulance match was fun, but after making McIntyre a monster for months, it was kind of strange, albeit fun, to make it seem like he won because Legends helped him. Yeah, fair point, but
that's a fair point. Yeah,
this rounded out a story, but I'll have my comments on that storyline after this too. He said main event was great. Reigns as a heel is what we have needed for years. He's looking jacked and just carried himself like a complete badass. Agreed, because him finally wrestling without a stupid flap jacket. Now
I gotta admit, I just marked out for the fact that he walked out with no shirt on. I was like, and not for the reasons a lot of people would think I would be, but it's like, oh my god, he learned he doesn't need a bulletproof vest to wrestle. Thank you, Lord.
Asking Jay to call him the Tribal Chief and then recreating the Apollo Creed death scene with Jimmy was so great. I know Ted sent the meme, but I had that thought when Jimmy was saying let him throw in the towel. So we saw the meme. Yes, shout out Steve. Yeah, sent it to us. I was dying laughing. It was pretty much scene for scene with Rocky 4.
I'm not gonna lie. After I saw the meme and then I was like, did Vince watch Rocky 4 before this match happened?
I mean, it's possible. You know. Yeah.
I did like that. Honestly, though, all jokes aside, I thought that was pretty cool. I can't even lie. I can't even say that I didn't enjoy that aspect of it, and having to have it come out and throw the towel in. I was like, I was actually invested. This kind of Roman Reigns is very, very intriguing. So I don't know where they're going to go with this, but this might be the thing that also might give the Universal title some weight too. Because it's got some weight. It's just it's been marred down by so much in the past few years with it. Just So
we know who we're talking about in title chances.
I'm trying not to blame him. It's not his fault. He just does the job.
Yeah, and I think they're handling this with Roman very well. I've said it before. Finally, him wrestling without the flap jacket, showing off his physique. It's like, okay, now people are gonna take him seriously. Now people know him. He's badass.
Yeah, and hopefully he gets new music soon.
Yeah, I guess they're still working that out, right?
Yeah.
As far as the whole situation, I don't know if he's gonna have Jimmy next on his radar. We'll find out Friday on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Or even the draft, because in the course of the show, they announced the draft was going to be October 9th and October 12th as part of SmackDown and Raw, which I always think is weird. Because I always feel like the draft should always be done after Survivor Series. Because they always turn this whole big war into Raw versus SmackDown versus NXT. Why not wait till after Survivor Series to do this whole draft bit? So
I thought it was soon too. I mean, especially at this weird time. I was like, okay, this is kind of a weird time. Even still have the draft right now. I was like, okay. I mean, I guess, but whatever.
Yeah. So now, as far as our WrestleCast ratings on Clash of Champions, 0 to 5, 5 being WrestleMania 17, 0 being December to Dismember. Before I get to that, I forgot to mention our pick results. Tina went 3-4 on her picks. Mike went 5-2. I went 6-1, and Tommy 7-0. What is up, man? Congratulations!
Yes.
Yeah, it was definitely your weekend. Finally. So yeah,
I am not at all confident that will ever happen again, but it happened once. If you don't know a little confidence I had that will ever happen again, it's like, yeah, no. And the funny part was, when I saw the match, when I saw the Asuka and Bayley match, I was like, when it ended in DQ, I said that's probably what I would have predicted. Because I really can't see Asuka winning that like that. I can't see Bayley losing, so someone's got to get DQ'd on that. So
Yeah, it was a nice way to I guess appease the fans there, give a nice surprise, a little distraction, kind of help the show out, and then DQ finish it.
yeah,
Now, as far as our ratings, Mike gave it a 4, saying it would have been lower if not for the bookend matches. Um, I'm inclined to agree with that, only I'm probably going to say 3.75. Yeah, the bookend matches were great. A lot of that fluff in the middle was just kind of as Mike said. I mean,
yeah,
there really wasn't anything that stood out. The ambulance match, okay, had some fun moments. And you figure the way they booked that, okay, we're done with that. But the problem is that on Raw, they're continuing that. Somehow
yeah.
Randy Orton keeps losing. He keeps getting title shots. Never mind that Keith Lee beat Randy Orton in a pay-per-view in between these title shots. So 3.75 on my end. Tommy, you going 7-0 on your picks. What is your rating for Clash of Champions?
I'm giving it a 4.25, but
Okay.
I like to think of it as like a B plus in my opinion. It's like they put on some good efforts. You can tell it was marred by everything, and the middle matches, yeah, they weren't anything to really write home about, which is not I can't fault the wrestlers for that. They're trying, but the opener and the closing of the show were just so memorable, and I think they were pretty solid for that.
Yep.
So, yeah.
All right. Overall rating then is a 4.0. Easy math for me. Great. So just kind of worked out that way. Not too shabby. For the Clash, just about every title defended. And then that brings us into NXT TakeOver 31, which is basically their own version of Clash of Champions plus one. Um, except for the tag titles, by the way.
Yeah.
You notice those aren't on the line here. So now we don't know yet what W's plans are. Obviously, we're recording this on Tuesday. If there's any issue of people not being medically cleared, we don't know if any of this is going to change
Yeah.
tomorrow on NXT and even before the event on Sunday. Yes, NXT is on Sunday this weekend. But we have 5 matches that are booked as of right now. We're going to make our picks on those and discuss those. Obviously, we hope everybody is healthy and that the show can go on as planned and there won't be any major drastic changes due to COVID-19 concerns. So now, one, by the way, I do have Tina and Mike's picks for these matches here. And I'm pretty sure in the first match, they both made their pick based on thinking they got to follow Tommy with this one. And that is Kushida versus Velveteen Dream. And Tina told me she's copying Tommy, going with Kushida. Mike said he's going with Kushida. Tommy, is it pretty much a done deal? You're going with Kushida to beat Velveteen Dream here.
Yeah, I'm going with Kushida.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't even lie. When I saw it, I was like, I can't go against Kushida. I just can't do it. He's been out and everything, and I love the guy so much. So yeah, I'm going Kushida all day long.
Same, yeah. Not to copy Tommy, but this seems like the logical one. Velveteen Dream stock just continues to drop, whether it's through criminal accusations that have been a controversy, but ever since he lost his title shot, it's just kind of gone.
Yep.
And it kind of sucks because he is a talent, but we don't know the whole story on everything else that's going on.
Yep.
So now NXT North American Championship, Damian Priest making his first big title defense against Johnny Gargano. Tina went with Damian Priest. Mike went with Johnny Gargano. I'm going with Damian Priest. I would hate for him to lose his very first title defense, especially when he celebrates by jumping in a hot tub with a couple of ladies and Triple H coming and taking a picture with him.
That was hilarious.
I think they really want to build this guy up and have him a decent title run with it. So, Tommy, what's your pick on this?
Priest. I just don't see a world where he needs to lose it that soon. I mean, maybe there can be some shenanigans that like he barely wins or squeaks out a victory and Gargano complete his case about that or something. I don't know, but I just don't see him losing it that soon. They went through a lot to build him up, and they just like way too soon to stop it now.
Uh-huh. Oh, excuse me. Now it's the Cruiserweight Championship, it's really the interim Cruiserweight Championship. They've kind of
Yeah.
recognized it as such because Jordan Devlin still has a Cruiserweight title belt.
Yep.
He'll probably be defending that with NXT UK coming back soon. But in the meantime, Santos Escobar has the interim title, and he's defending it against Isaiah Swerve Scott. Tina and Mike are both going with the current champion, Escobar. Tommy, I don't know a whole lot about Swerve. I imagine you might.
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I've seen him a number of times. I met him a few times, and I followed his career like long before he got signed. And that's one of the things that bums me out. It's like, he finally gets signed, and they do not use him anywhere near enough. So I'm picking him because I want this to be his breakout to finally get noticed because the dude is so freaking talented. I love his work. He's a genuine guy, very very nice guy. So I just want this to be his breakout. I will tell you one clip I saw of him. He had a match with Cody in Defied before Cody went to anywhere else. And while they were in the ring before the match started, someone yelled Stardust. and Swerve was like, ooh, snap. Okay, that was the wrong thing to say. But Cody didn't miss a beat. He did a cartwheel and then flipped off the guy who said it. and I was like, well, that was worth watching. That was
awesome. Now I don't know a whole lot about either of these, to be honest with you. There hasn't really been a whole lot of this Cruiserweight title appearing much on TV, but
yeah.
If I'm going based on how they were ranked in this little puppy right here, I got to go with Swerve Scott. He was 191. Escobar was 369. So I think the fact that they're finally putting the Cruiserweight title match on a TakeOver pay-per-view means they're going to shake things up a bit, I think. So I can definitely see Swerve taking the title here as well. So.
And it's nothing against Escobar. Like, actually, I do like the guy, but I really do know way more about Swerve than I do about him. And honestly, I like excuse me, Escobar's whole fashion and everything. But I mean, come on, let's get some new blood in there. Besides, I like them. I like the fact that he's feuding with this odd couple of Drake Maverick and Killian Dane because I don't know what's going on there. It's like they're like brothers. They just get beat up all the time.
Yeah. Now the NXT Women's Championship. Literally, I was asking Tina her picks for this. She said, "Can we come back to this one?" Because she couldn't decide. So. Now, eventually, she and Mike both said Candice LeRae. Okay, I thought Tommy would have a more pissed off picture of that because I have a feeling he's going to go with Io Shirai here to stay the title holder. Go for it.
Actually, and I hate to admit this, it's literally killing me to admit this. I just feel like they're going to go with Candice LeRae on this one. But you know what? I don't care if I'm wrong. Ride or die with Io Shirai. I'm going with Io Shirai. I don't care. And I'm positive. And look, I'm positive I'm wrong, and I'm positive Mike and Tina are right. But I don't care. Ride or die with Io Shirai.
Okay. I would normally be with you on Io Shirai. I really would. And even more so because Candice LeRae won this title shot by winning a gauntlet match. So, and I'd be all for it. But what concerns me is that less than a week after this pay-per-view is the draft.
This is true.
I have a feeling in my mind that they're going to be picking Io to replace basically the void left by Kairi Sane, so they can call up another Asian wrestler and not know how to use them on the main roster. So
okay, but see, here's the funny thing is like
Candice LeRae. Yeah, go ahead, Tommy.
So I got to remember, but I'm pretty sure that Io and Asuka were a tag team. Yeah, they were part of a group called Triple Tails. So that's what always vexed me about Asuka and Kairi Sane because like they didn't really team a lot in Japan. I don't know if they did at all. But Asuka, when she was Kana, did with Io Shirai a lot, especially because Asuka tagged a lot with Io Shirai's older sister, Mio Shirai. So it was like, I was like, why didn't they just do that? Plus, I remember when they had the whole Black Lotus triad and Lucha Underground, which was awesome. And so, and I was hoping they'd do something like that again. And they didn't. I was like, dang it, missed opportunity. But I see your point.
Yeah. And I wouldn't doubt it if I'd be pretty cool to see Asuka versus Io Shirai on the main roster if that's what they want to set up, because right now Asuka, pending what they're going to shake up on the rosters, looks unstoppable as champion. There really isn't anybody on Raw that's going to take her down at this point. At least nothing that stands out to me. So, and finally the main event, NXT Championship, Finn Balor, the champion, defending against Kyle O'Reilly. Mike is picking Finn Balor, and Tina cannot for the life of her pick against Kyle O'Reilly. So she is going with Kyle O'Reilly to be the new champion. She loves O'Reilly so much.
Yeah,
so.
I don't blame her. I legitimately have a hard time with this as well. Because diehard ROH fan guy over here, I know how good O'Reilly is when and I'm not going to say when he's saddled with a group, because that's not true, because all of Undisputed Era tends to gets to shine, Yeah. And even poor Bobby Fish, who'd been marred with a lot of injuries, got to shine when they finally got cleared and everything. So there's nothing wrong with him being attacked. In fact, people could argue he really broke out when Red Dragon first formed in Ring of Honor with him and Bobby Fish. So I want to pick Kyle so bad, but I gotta think they're gonna keep it on Finn for a little while longer, so I'm gonna go with Finn. But I do see one thing I do see happening from this is Kyle O'Reilly shows such a great performance, he builds himself back up to be a number one contender again, and then gets another shot this time. I don't think it'll happen this time, but I think the next time he gets a shot, that's when he'll do it. So
yeah.
But because Kyle O'Reilly can put on some show-stealing matches, like I like a lot of the PWG matches I have on DVD. A lot of the time is with Kyle O'Reilly, where he's just stealing the show. Like the first time him and Adam Cole tagged against the Young Bucks when they were Future Shock, before anyone really knew who they were, that got them a lot of attention. There was a match he had with Adam Cole at an ROH show. It was one of the anniversary shows. They were not even like considered contenders for anything yet.
Yeah.
But they had like this hybrid fight type match, and it was just so brutal that it got it got them the respect of the fans. So I think it's gonna happen for him soon, just not this time. Right now, I think it's gonna stay on Finn Balor.
Okay. I'm with you on that too. I think I can see Kyle O'Reilly beat champion, but I'm sticking with it on Finn here, especially since you just won it recently.
Yeah.
Give him a good title run. What I think is going to happen also potentially with the draft coming up and with this whole issue with music rights and CFO, I think this is a prime time that they will try and possibly move Adam Cole onto Raw or SmackDown and do something with that. And Kyle O'Reilly's going to have to make a claim on his own for the NXT title. Hopefully on some level they'll still keep the Undisputed Era thing going, whether they appear on each other's shows and whatnot. But Kyle O'Reilly, when he was making his run as Ring of Honor champion, it was such a big deal, and I like that they're going to give him a shot here. But it's something I don't know if he'll take it now, but definitely sometime in the future. So
the only thing that happened with the Ring of Honor title run was like mismanagement with him. Really, I mean, I think he would have had a lot longer had it not been for that. Yeah. But bad management happens.
Yeah. So that is our picks for NXT TakeOver 31, a rare Sunday pay-per-view for NXT. And I'm really enjoying the fact that, granted, you can blame this on COVID or whatever reason, that they are just given with the number convention. It does make things a lot easier than me having to figure out which time they're doing this in Brooklyn and whatnot, what city.
Yep.
So, some other wrestling news related, mostly WWE for the most part. We mentioned the COVID issue. Mike sent this in. COVID disrupts the disruption storyline. Yep. We talked at length last week about the mask issue, how they were revealed. We now know what Mercedes and Mia Yim's disruption names are.
Decepticon names. Anyway.
Yeah, I know. and at least they have it on a separate Twitter account, so they're keeping it separate from the Mia Yim's own personal Twitter. But obviously, we expected Disruption to be a part of Clash of Champions, but this whole COVID situation has apparently affected that entire group. So, from what we understand, they're not going to be involved on TV for at least 2 weeks.
Yep.
And it's a shame because it kind of kills everything they built up, especially in the world of WWE. When you take time off, if it's a week or 2 weeks, they're just gonna blah. It's not gonna do anything, you know. So, is this the end of the Disruption storyline? What do you think?
Oh man, okay. Here's the sad part. I could absolutely see it if it is. If it's the end of the storyline, that wouldn't shock me because it's Vince we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So, unfortunately, it might be. And it sucks because, like, okay, so Eric Bischoff, here's the funny thing about my views on Eric Bischoff. I don't always disagree with him. Matter of fact, I think he's right a good chunk of the time. But even when he's wrong, I see his point. And it's not like I feel my feelings about him with Jim Cornette, because Jim Cornette, when he's wrong, I'm just like, dude, stop. But like Eric Bischoff was like, you know. But this time I felt he was right because he said like the debut and everything kind of killed the momentum. Now I forget who. I think T-Bar. Who's T-Bar again?
I don't even know.
Dijakovic is T-Bar. Kind of like said something about him and like with WCW failing and everything. But Eric Bischoff kind of took that in stride. He's like, I wasn't saying you guys are bad. I said that the debut fell flat. He's like, and I think you have a bright. He even said to the guy, I think you have a bright career. I think you guys could make something of this, but the debut was flat. You know, I feel the same thing. It's like I think it would have made a ton more sense if they just debuted with their names and just aired some grievances.
Mm-hmm.
Like just do that. I don't know where the name change thing came from. I don't know why they had to debut wearing masks like we don't know who they are. Even if we didn't know Dijakovic and Shane Thorne, Dio Madden was on TV for a good chunk of time, and he still has his dreads. And literally, Mia Yim and Mercedes Martinez look exactly the same as they did on NXT.
Yep. And the Twitter accounts themselves can be confusing, where they're putting their manifesto out like they had to offer us a job because it was costing them more money for these security guards. Man, it was like, that makes no fucking sense.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Yeah, I remember like hearing all the explanation as to why they had to hire the guys disrupting the show, and I was like, that doesn't track. And all this does is remind me of the storyline they did back in 2012, 11, 13, something like that, where all the roster left Raw because it was an unsafe work environment because Nexus kept attacking.
Oh yeah. I remember.
And I was like, so we're all okay with random attacks now, and to the point where we just hire the guys at random. But okay, so kayfabe isn't dead. We've established that because there are people who still hold on to it. However, there's a way to do it where it makes sense in context, even if you can call it out later. The Michael Nakazawa Matt Sydal thing makes sense in context, even though, because honestly, like you said, I still think they covered it up, but the way they did it was so good, it could almost still pass for something they planned in advance. But they probably did just cover it up. This. Not really, because we already know that they're on the payroll. If it had been a bunch of indie guys that like were actually decent, that they knew could handle it, and brought other people into their fold, like if they had like Robert Stone, if he had been in charge of them the whole time, or someone like that'd have made a lot more sense to me. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope it's not dead for the sake of their careers, because the funny part is all 5 people in the group are talented. Like, they're really good wrestlers. Mercedes Martinez is probably one of the most unsung best wrestlers in the world. Dijakovic, come on. We can't praise him more than we already have on this show. Dio Madden is good. Mia Yim's great. Shane Thorne, I loved him even back in his Noah days. He was part of the TMDK. So, which stands for the Mighty Don't Kneel, in case anyone was wondering. But yeah, so I hope it's not the end of their careers, but the storyline may have effectively just been shot right in the foot. So
yeah.
We'll see.
Hopefully not. Hopefully they make something others to get a little creative with it. So, we mentioned this. Mike poses the question: why is the Orton versus McIntyre story still going on? I don't know. What are they bypassing this for? Who are they waiting to take the title of McIntyre? It makes no sense. So
it doesn't make sense from a Drew and Orton standpoint. Orton's lost twice. Drew's beat him twice.
Exactly.
And I do not see a world where you have to just have Orton in the title picture. He's good enough on his own to carry anybody by himself without a title. Matter of fact, he's one of the guys. To me, he's one of those guys where beating him is a world title because whether people like him or not, Orton's going down as a legend. He really is. He's going down as one of those guys who was just one of the best of all time. I don't care if you don't like him or not. That's just a fact. Because of how he carries himself, he's always been a reliable guy for the company, and he puts on great matches. Drew McIntyre is definitely becoming that because he's already reliable for the company, and he puts on great matches. He's just got the world title attached to him now. I don't see why they need to keep doing this with him and Orton. Honestly, to be perfectly honest, I would rather see Bobby Roode, who I saw clips of the match on Monday, get a full-on title opportunity because he impressed me. Yeah. I would also like to see Dolph Ziggler go back once again, do the "it should have been me" thing because I'm sorry, that's just hilarious to me. Because he still gripes about that, and to an extent he's right, but it's just get some other guys in there. The dangers with this whole pandemic thing is if you do the same thing over and over again too much, people notice a lot more now. When the shows are live, people don't notice as much. When there are crowds, people don't notice as much. And honestly, again, for all the gripes about AEW, and some are legitimate, I will admit some are legitimate, for all the gripes, at least when there's a world title contender, it's not always the same guy.
Yeah, they follow a ranking system. Wins and losses matter. That's important to them. So,
the only thing that's happened really with world title contenders that I've seen repeated recently was the whole Evil Naito thing in New Japan. But in context, that made sense. So, but in this context, it doesn't because Orton's lost twice in a row now. What does that prove him getting another title shot? Except for he's just loved by the front office.
Yeah. Now the Mysterio family storyline, Mike and myself not really feeling it. Makes no sense. Mike said, "Let Dominic wrestle all the other Hispanic wrestlers like they always do." It may get to that. Let's be honest.
It probably will. I don't get where that came from. I was like, when that started. Okay, so I can't lie. I saw it coming after I think what was either the cage match or some match it was, where Aaliyah was looking at Murphy, and I was like, "Oh God, please no, please no, please no." I was like, please let them go to the things that they did, saw didn't work, and dropped it, and then this week happened. I was like, oh,
they're gonna run with it. And finally, Mike did want to give a shout out to Daphne. She's gone through some medical problems recently, but she's hanging in. That's definitely good news. Shout out to her. Mike, I remember so many indie shows. Whenever she was there, he was always getting a picture with her. So he loves Daphne, and she's definitely a registering legend.
She's definitely one of my favorite people I've ever got to meet live because she is such a freaking sweetheart. Two pictures of mine that are some of my favorites are one that I took with her, Delirious and Jerry Lynn, which is a picture I kind of want in my obituary when I pass. And the other was I took one with her and I think it was her and Mischief at an ACW show because
that's right.
Mischief was like her tag team partner and I think her trainer for a while. So
yep.
if I had to be tortured and it's those two, I kind of would probably be okay with that. So.
Now, one sad bit of news we got last week was actually the day after we recorded. We sad to learn of the passing of Road Warrior Animal.
Yeah.
That was a bit of a shock.
That came out of left field.
Came out of nowhere. Thankfully, from what I understand, it was peacefully in his sleep, which is the way I think anybody would want to go.
Yeah.
But we no longer have any living members of the Legion of Doom on this earth, and that is very sad. So, but Hawk and Animal finally reunited as a tag team. Yeah. Obviously, after Hawk passed away years ago, Animal had a partner here, a partner there as part of the Legion of Doom, and I can't recall if his son is still playing in the NFL. I know he was drafted, was playing with the for a while.
Yeah, so. I can't remember.
Yeah, so
I remember I read a post or something like that Animal's wife put up, and it was just heartbreaking, and I felt so bad for her. It was like something like this shouldn't be happening. I felt like this is a nightmare, and I was like, man, it's just so. I just felt bad for her because, that kind of thing, man, when it just happens out of nowhere like that, and I've had family members pass out of nowhere, but I can't imagine, wife, or something like that. Cause this is a whole different world, man. But I felt like, prayers up for their family and everything, I just, pray they can get through it. Yeah.
Definitely will be missed. He was definitely a legend, Hall of Famer.
Absolutely.
So, but we can see him and Hawk cutting promos, meaning probably the interviewer, for all we know, up there watching.
For all we know, there's a tag team match right now between them and Ultimate Warrior and Macho Man Randy Savage, and for some reason Eddie Guerrero was just out there, just hanging around, just
why not? Why not?
Like, Eddie, why are you even here? Oh, I thought we were all just jumping in the ring. My bad. Then why do you have that chair? What chair? I posted the picture of me meeting Animal at an RCW event, and a friend of mine said, I almost felt guilty. As a friend of mine said, he was like the one guy I wanted to meet, and to know you got to wear that armor. I was like, I can't even lie. Wearing that armor was one of the coolest things I probably ever done.
Yeah.
I was like, the fact that he was standing right there, I got to wear that armor. I was like, wow. Okay.
Pretty damn cool.
It's like one of those moments where you're like, don't cry in front of a warrior animal. Don't cry. You're gonna cry, aren't you? Don't cry.
I would have lost it. So, yeah. And that does bring us into our 1 minute warning segment. For those of you new to the show, this is the part where we just take a minute to talk about whatever we want. Mike didn't formally send it to me, but I'll just go ahead and do his real quick. A good thing and a bad thing. A good thing, Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura are still champion. I don't know how many days it is now. I'll probably put the graphic up here later. But a bad thing is that Raw has not been iconic in such and such days. I think it's 18 days now. So, but hey, it'll work out. Who knows how the draft works out.
I do know the fact that this is still a thing he keeps doing. It's just making me so happy. Yeah.
Tommy, do you have something this week? A G1 update? Because as I understand, Jay White is just killing people right now.
Dude, actually, that was part of what I was going to say.
All right.
Okay, whenever you're ready.
Whenever you're ready, set, and I won't hold the timer up. Just, or let me get it going here. Ready, set, and go.
Okay, so like JC said, man, Jay White is ripping through this G1. Ibushi, Takagi, Okada, and I can't believe, and another one who's currently undefeated, and I can't believe these words leaving my mouth. Tai Chi hasn't lost yet. I can't stand that because I have a friend who loves Tai Chi, and I swear, if Tai Chi even wins his block, let alone wins the whole thing, I will never, for the rest of my life, hear the end of it. Every day he will bring up, I was like, I can't live in a world where Tai Chi wins the G1. I just can't do it. And it looks like I have to live in that world. Now, before I go on, I will say this. Well, Naito's also undefeated, by the way. Suzuki is not undefeated. He did lose to Tai Chi. I can't believe that. But he did cut a promo that I posted on my Twitter and on my Facebook that was amazing. It was a minute and a half but it was just a stellar promo saying, hey, like, I'm 52, I've been in the wrestling business 32 years, but I don't care. Don't judge me by your standards. And I was amazed. It's like, it was a minute and a half promo, and it still said so much. I know it went over time, but like it was really good. The G1's really good, and I just can't believe Tai Chi is undefeated. What world are we living in? Damn you, 2020!
Are Tai Chi and Jay White in separate blocks?
No, they're in the same block.
Oh, same block. Okay.
You know what? When do they meet? Hold on. Let me before you go. Let me check when they
Go
have their.
Go for it. Yeah.
Where are the? Okay, they're meeting on night 11, which is probably not too far off. So if they both go undefeated this whole time, that might be the deciding factor who wins the whole block. Because usually it comes down to if you're mostly undefeated for the whole G1, but you have like one loss and you're tied with someone else. I think if that person beat you, then they get that. If that person if you beat that person and you're both tied, then you win that block even if you're tied.
Okay.
And if tie, okay, but look, I can't even lie. If Tai Chi beats, because he hasn't faced Okada yet, he hasn't faced White yet, but if he beats Okada, and if he beats Jay White, my friend is going to literally have that printed on a shirt, and every time I see him, he's going to throw it in my face. And I'll have nothing. I'll have no comeback for that. I can't believe I'm saying this, but come on, Jay White. Come on, beat Tai Chi. Why do I have to say that? What is this year? Also, Yujo Takahashi ain't won one match yet, and I think Okada's only won one.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a weird G1, dude. Like anyone who plays bets on this one lost all their money. They had to.
I think I've learned long ago you don't place bets on New Japan stuff because you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the way it goes.
But if you even tried this year, you absolutely lost your money because I can't believe the results I'm saying. Toru Yano hasn't lost. And Sonata hasn't won. I don't get this G1 at all. Sorry. This thing's just throwing me off so bad.
Hang on, I'm trying to find the tweet that was going to be part of my 1 minute warning here. Where is it?
The more I look at this, the more like shocked I am by the results.
Mm-hmm. Now, we mentioned the whole Mysterio family and Murphy storyline, the text messages and all that, and I was a bit surprised by something that happened on Twitter, but then again, it is Twitter. Maybe I shouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
But the whole WWE put up a tweet with the eye emojis pointing at the screenshot of the text messages supposedly between Murphy and Mysterio's daughter. And Alexa Bliss, quote, retweeted it and said, honestly, I don't blame him. Hashtag shoot your shot, bud. You know, people know the history. Alexa and Blake Murphy or Buddy Murphy used to be a couple. Engaged, just didn't work out, and of course now Alexa's dating Ryan Cabrera, and for whatever reason people felt the need to lash out at her, and I don't understand why. You can be supportive of an ex, it's okay. There's nothing wrong with that, and obviously they broke up on amicable terms, or it was just like whatever the reason, their life was going different places. They're still friends. Some people all of a sudden she's the bad guy for making a comment on it, which doesn't make any sense. If your issue with the storyline is that it's just, why is this some family drama crap with Murphy? Okay, you have a point.
Yeah.
If your issue with the storyline is that he's hitting on a teenager, she's 19. I'm just saying, you really can't do anything about it. And would I want my daughter at 19, even though she's not 19, dating a wrestler? Probably not. I would hope I had some sense in that, but. From a kayfabe standpoint, Ray, hey, good luck, man. But I am looking forward to Buddy Murphy calling Rey Mysterio Pop or Dad or any other storyline they come up with. It's going to make for some hilarious moments. That's why the storyline isn't all bad.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's it. Go ahead. So.
Okay, I was just like, okay. So my thing with the with the storyline is, I mean, yeah, it's kind of the creepy old man thing kind of thing going on. But again, 19, and again, it's wrestling, guys. We've seen creepier in the sport. And but they're just but people are just complaining about the fact that she's like supportive of an ex. Again, not doing anything illegal, and again, an ex can support an ex.
Yeah.
I have seen it my entire life. From past relationships of people I know, my own past relationships. It's like hey, things didn't work out because, and here's another thing: there can be hurt feelings at one point, but sometimes people move on, sometimes they don't. And I'm not saying everyone should move on because not everyone's breakup is the same. But sometimes the breakup is bad for whatever reason. But sometimes it's not bad enough to warrant you hating the person forever. Because sometimes you move on, and you don't wish that person ill. And if they're happy, great, Yeah. I think personally, my personal feelings are this, going from a real world type of standpoint, is like if the breakup wasn't because of anything like I will say like borderline illegal, that kind of thing, all that kind of stuff that you can think of, then when everyone moves on, great. I don't see the point of wishing anyone bad for the rest of their life just because the relationship didn't work out. Relationships don't work out sometimes. Like sometimes it's just like you give it a good shot, you do your best for both sides, and then you just doesn't work out. Like I read Darby Allin and Priscilla Kelly are actually getting a divorce. Now that makes me sad because I've met them both and they're really nice people. But what they've said was they still care about each other and everything. They're just their lives are going different directions and they're splitting amicably. Mm-hmm. So that sucks that that's happening because like I said, I like them. I thought they were a very good couple. Like I said, meeting them both, they're really cool. Mm-hmm. But hey, it happens. They don't wish each other ill, something like that. So great. So if Priscilla Kelly starts dating someone, Darby Allin says, "Hey, I'm happy for her." Is Twitter going to lose its mind? Probably. Mm-hmm. Again, it's Twitter.
But then again, it's Darby Allin, so if he's going to say anything, he's just going to hold up a sign with his words, and so I mean, it's fine. But so
and the day Darby Allin really cares about what Twitter says, the day I think we should all cash our chips in because it's over.
Yeah. All right. NXT TakeOver 31 is this Sunday, October 4th at 6 p.m. Central Time. The kickoff will probably be around 5:30. It'll be from Full Sail University in Winter Park, a.k.a. Orlando, Florida, or the little suburb of Orlando, Florida. And, of course, we'll be on the WWE Network. Obviously, hopefully, the matches that we announce to make predictions on are going to be the ones that hold true to the card. Hopefully, if there is a COVID issue there, everybody is safe and everyone that may be affected by it recovers as well. So, as for us, our Twitter account at CCG_WrestleCast, and you can subscribe here on the Countdown City YouTube channel. Let us know your thoughts on Clash of Champions. Let us know your predictions for NXT TakeOver 31. And hell, even let us know what you think of some of the current storylines. Are you a fan at all of the Disruption, aka Retribution storyline? Your thoughts on the whole Mysterio family, Buddy Murphy situation, which always seems to be whenever you bring families on stage. You think wrestlers would learn, right?
Yeah.
And of course, next week we will recap NXT TakeOver 31, our thoughts on the show as we head into the draft. This is basically the last event before the draft, and the rosters get shuffled around. So we'll see what happens. So
where does the Mandalorian fall? Is he Raw, SmackDown, NXT? I mean,
this is the way. He's registered independent. This is the way. So that's the way I see it. Yeah. Tommy, thanks again for joining. Thank you everybody for watching. This is always fun to talk wrestling and just get a little break from the world. So
yeah, for sure.
Yep. So, Tommy, for the WrestleCast, this is Tommy.
Thanks, guys.
I'm JC, and as always, heels and baby faces, remember, pro wrestling is real. People are fake. Hey, yo, subscribe to the channel by clicking right here.
Or if you want to watch more videos, click right here.